Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel or in this video as well. So guys, as you can see on the screen in this video, I'm talking about there are 82 questions I collected for you guys to prepare for interview of VMware. So guys, I will tell you first of all, before going further, take a notebook, take a pen, pencil, paper and just note down the key points of this video, because I'm giving guarantee you won't be able to remember each and everything what and all I'm going to discuss, but if you want to get succeed in this interview, just make a note down what you have understood for a particular question. Okay, that is the way of learning. In my previous video also I spoke about the same thing, and don't think that you can remember each and everything if you just listen the video or forward the video. No, you just need to make note down what you have understood, and that is what a small request I can make you, and I want to make you. So guys, please make a note and try to understand. Now in my previous video I spoke about 50 questions already. Now I'm talking about the rest of, there will be 32 questions in this video. If you want the first video, you can subscribe my channel. Now, so guys, this was the last question of this video. Describe the disadvantages of VMware virtualization platform. So very simple, there will be a couple of disadvantages also. The very first one is it requires investment. Okay, you need to invest little more, and let me take highlighter. Okay, investment. Second one is cost and different technology. So these are the basic disadvantage of VMware virtualization. Next question, name the component that are used in VMware infrastructure. So these are the basic component you need to make a successful implementation of VMware infrastructure. First one is ES host or ESXi host, you can say, server host, vCenter server, client, web browser, license server, database servers. So these are the basic requirements. Then only you will have a successful virtual infrastructure. Next question, what is meant by VDS and what are its benefits? So guys, the full form of VDS is virtual distributed switch. Very important if you are dealing with virtual infrastructure. VDS is very basic requirement. So guys, VDS is acting as a single switch which is responsible for providing administration and central provisioning for the virtual network, and its benefits are monitoring, central provision and central administration. When you create multiple hosts, and if you want to enable vMotion and all that time you need to configure VDS, virtual distributed switch, because virtual distributed switch enables you to have communication between multiple hosts. Okay, that is the main use or main role of distributed switches. You can have multiple hosts, and you can use single distributed switch to make communication between all the hosts. And if you are using standard switch, so you will have one standard switch per host. Okay, you should know this is the difference between standard switch and distributed switch. Next question, name the port group in ESXi networking configuration. So you need to use service console port group, virtual machine port group, VM kernel port group. These are the basic port group we need to configure if required as per the requirement of configuration. Next question, name the type of ESXi server partitions. So we can create couple of partition. One is swap partition, this is op partition, var partition, home, root, or var core partition, temporary partition. These are the partition. Next question, write about MAC address changes. So guys, At the time of creation, the virtual machine NIC with MAC address is stored in VMX file. Okay, if you are creating any virtual machine and you are assigning any NIC, network interface card, so one MAC address will be stored in that virtual machine X file. The packet doesn't allow the incoming traffic to the virtual machine if it doesn't match with MAC address of VMX file. If anything is wrong with this MAC address or with that file which is not matching the address which was installed at the time of virtual machine creation, so communication will not happen from that virtual machine. It will not allow communication, incoming traffic basically. What is VLAN? VLAN is nothing but virtual LAN, is used to break a broadcast traffic into a lot of logic groups. So again, this is one network you have. You can create multiple VLAN and you can assign VLAN to particular or that required computers, and that traffic will be going accordingly. VLANs separate one broadcast domain into many teeny pieces instead of using one physical switch for compromising one domain. So it is just a logical segmentation of logic, segmentation of big network basically. Name VLAN tagging type. So there will be three VLAN tagging. One is virtual switch tagging, VST. Next is external switch, EST tagging, and virtual guest, GT, VGT tagging. These are the tagging. Now next question, what are the load balancing policy for vSwitch, virtual switches? So we have route based, we have route based on originating virtual switch ID, and it is based on source MAC hash, route based on IP hash. So these are the load balancing policy of virtual switch. Write about types of settings in network failover detection. So here there are two types of setting in network failover detection. One is link status only, okay, and beacon probing. What will happen in link status only? So it depends on link status of the network adapter. It detects switch power failure and cable pulls, but it cannot detect the error in configuration such as blocking of spanning tree, wrong VLAN misconfiguration, and etc. Because it is just it will monitor only link, what is happening to that network adapter or with that link adapter. Next, beacon probing. We'll understand what is beacon probing. So it listens to beacon probes and sends Ethernet broadcast frame to detect the failure network connections of upstream. Beacon probing also detect many other failures that were not detected by link status. So this beacon probing is more capable to take care as compared to link status only for network failover detection. Next question, what is meant by platform service controller, PSC, and what are its components? So it is nothing but it was introduced in 6 version, vSphere version 6, that handle the security function of infrastructure. Like it has 3 component: VMware certificate authority and single sign-on, license services. This will be taken care by. It will come as a as a package under platform service controller. Next question, guys, what is thin provision disk type in VMware? So there are 3 type of disk. 2 I have already discussed, lazy, and one more is there, and this is third one. So in this, what will happen? Thin provision provides the disk space allocation to virtual machine. The disk size will increase in proportional to the data size. Automatically the disk size will be increased if required as per the data size. That is the concept of thin provision. Next question, define configuration option in vSAN. So there are two configuration option in vSAN. One is hybrid and all hash. Next, if I talk about hybrid, uses both magnetic and flash based disk for storage. So it is going to use both magnetic and flash based disk for storage. The magnetic disks are used for storage or capacity, while flash based drives are used for cache memory kind of. Now all flash, what does it mean? It uses flash for both storage and caching. This spelling is wrong, it is caching, basically caching. Next question, what are the steps in converting a physical machine into virtual machine? So we need to follow. First one, an agent should be installed on physical machine, for example this HP machine. Along with converter plugin, a VI client must be installed. Need a server to export import the virtual machine. This is the basic step we need to follow if you are converting physical machine into virtual machine. Next question, define VMware DPM and ESXi cell. So if we talk about DPM, that is known as distributed power management. So it is a feature of virtual machine DRS, which is used to monitor the cluster resources. Okay, and VMware DPM shutdowns the unused host and consolidate the workloads when the resources get decreased. If the resources get increased, then it automatically power on the hosts that are not being used. That is the concept of distributed power management. Now if we talk about ESXi cell, so ESXi cell is a command line which is used to repair ESXi host. It can be accessed through vCenter server, disable, enable SSH. So DPM is very important. If something is not in use, it will keep it as a reserve. Okay, and if requirement is more, requirement is increasing, it will power on automatically those hosts. Next question, what are the prerequisites needed in running ESX top on ESXi host? We need two prerequisites. First one, install vCenter client in which you want to configure the host, and by using troubleshooting option enable SSH. Next question, define limit, share and reservation in VMware. So limit is nothing but it is defined as the host cycle consumption without crossing the defined value. Okay, share, it specifies the importance or relative priority of virtual machine access in given resource. Next one, reservation, it is a value that defines in the form of memory or CPU that can be available for the virtual machine to start. Next question, what is VApp and how it is useful? So guys, VApp is nothing but it is virtual app, is defined as a group or container in which more than one virtual machine can be managed in multi-tiered apps for a specific requirement like database, web server and application server. It can also define the power off and power on sequence of the virtual machine. By using VApp, we can configure several settings like memory allocation and internet protocol allocation policies. Next question, what is meant by iSCSI storage and what are its naming conventions? So an iSCSI storage system holds in iSCSI SAN that contains more than one storage processes. The communication in between storage array and host can be managed possible through TCP/IP protocol. The configuration of iSCSI initiator is done with ESXi host. The iSCSI initiator is not either independent or dependent. That's why it is called as iSCSI software initiator. And like the name iSCSI can be formatted in two ways: extended unique identifier EUI and iSCSI qualified name, that is IQN. Next question: what are the type of content library? So guys, there are three types of content library. One is published, second one is local, third one is subscribed. So if we talk about published, it consists of ISO images and VMware templates for subscription. Local, it's a local control policy library, and subscribed, it syncs with the library of published. Next question: what are the limitation and requirement of a content library? So yes, there are some limitations and requirement of content library. So it can save maximum 256 item, size is 64 TB, single storage, and for every 24 hours the sync is happening. Define the components that are used in vCenter infrastructure. So the first one is web client and vSphere client. It is user interface to take access of vCenter server database, like embedded PostgreSQL or SQL server is used to store security roles, inventory, and resource pool. Single sign-on, it is a security domain. So these are the basic component. When we installed vCenter server, all these things will be installed. What are the type of extension in VMware? So you can read here .nvram. It is used to stock the virtual machine state BIOS of the organization. And VMSD, metadata information of a snapshot. SS, it supplies the virtual machine. Postponed state .vmx, accumulate the primary for formations in the virtual machine. Log, it is used to save log file of virtual VMware to see glitches during the process of installation. And VMDK, it is used to simulate the disk file to stock the virtual machine. Gritify, it is VMSN, it is used in storing the snap state. It can supply both occupied period and consecutive state. Next question: what is meant by VCB and what are its benefits? So VCB is nothing but VMware Consolidated Backup. Okay, is referred to as the backup framework that enable third-party tool to get backup. Is very much helpful to backup virtual server of VMware. Yes, ESX, and it is also known as backup proxy server and is not considered as backup software. Next question: what are the type of deployment in vCenter server? So guys, there are two type of deployment. One is external deployment, next one is embedded deployment. So when we installed, let me show you if I have something to show you here. Yes, when we deploy this, we need to select two options. This is deployment option. One is embedded and second one is external. So when you deploy as embedded, you will install platform services controller and vCenter server on single machine only. Okay, if you are going external deployment, then you will have two server. Like on one server you will have you will have to install vCenter server, and second server you will have to install services and controller. So that is the difference. Okay, if you are installing vCenter server and embedded platform on one server, then at least you should have 10 GB RAM, or if you are installing separately, then give as much RAM you can give. So minimum requirement is 10 GB when you are installing as embedded deployment. Now, what is ESXi? What do you mean by ESXi? So guys, ESXi is a virtual layer run on physical server that abstract processor, memory, storage, resources into multiple virtual machines. So same thing here. In my previous video I told you, like ESXi is nothing but it is a hypervisor. For example, this is, once again I'm showing you, I have one hypervisor. This is ESXi, and here I can create multiple virtual machines. Okay, and as of now it is having 4 GB RAM, so I can give it to 16 GB RAM, 32 GB RAM, and that RAM for creating virtual machine will be taken or will be shared from here. What is VMware vSphere client and web client? So guys, it is nothing but, what is VMware vSphere? So it is used to take remote or take control of your VMware vSphere ESXi host and VMware centers, vCenter server. So web client is like you can access multiple host or server. Okay, and here if you are using VMware client, so you will have single I mean at a time you can take only one remote. So I just lost those my virtual machine, so I'm not able to tell you. Let me see if I have anything here. No, yeah, this one, like this is called as you can see here. Let me change this. It is showing very danger to me. This is like you can open it. This is client. Okay, and if you have web like this, you can put the IP address of client. I mean you want to connect like vCenter server or any ESXi host, and you can connect. But if you are using web, you can open it and you can give IP address here. So you can go through my videos, configuration videos, that I took all the things practically. I just lost my hard disk and all, so I'm not able to show you anything here, much practical things. Now we'll move to the next question. vSphere virtual machine file system. What is VMFS? So VMFS stands for virtual machine file system. You should know. So it is like it is high performance cluster file for ESXi virtual machine. So whatever virtual machine we will create on this ESXi will be stored in the form of VM virtual machine FS. And now what is virtual? What is vSphere virtual? That is also known as SMP. They will ask you SMP, what is virtual SMP basically in this. So it enables a single virtual machine to use multiple physical processors simultaneously. Okay, so it is called simultaneous symmetric multiple process basically. Next, what is host profile? So guys, host profile is like it is a feature that simplifies host configuration management through user defined configuration policies. So you can create policies, and the host profile policy capture the blueprint of known validated host configuration and use this configuration to configure networking, storage, security, and other setting across multiple hosts. So it is a pre-configured you can say template kind of thing. The host profile policy also monitor compliance to standard host configuration setting across the data center. Host profile reduces the manual steps that are involved in configuring a host and can help maintain consistency and correctness across the data center. Host profile also component of vSphere auto deploy. Now this is third last question of this video, vSphere ESXi dump collector. So guys, it is very important because the vCenter server support tool, it is a tool you can configure ESXi to save the VM kernel memory to a network server rather than to a disk when the system component system encounters a critical failure. So the basic role of ESXi dump collector is to report to a network server about the failure of the system. Okay. The vSphere ESXi dump collector collects such memory dump over the network and it will send to network server. Next question, VMware vSphere syslog. So again, vCenter server on Windows support tool that enable network logging and combining of log from multiple hosts. You can use the vSphere syslog collector to direct ESXi system logs to a server on the network rather than to a local disk. Next question, what is VMware Shield? So guys, VMware Shield is a suite once again of security virtual appliances that are built to work with vSphere, protecting virtualized data center from attack and misuse. VMware vShield is not a component of vSphere but as a companion to vSphere. It provides security for applications and data in the cloud. So guys, here this video is over and I explained whatever I was capable to discuss with you. If you feel this video is informative, please don't forget to subscribe channel, comment, share and like this video. And here I spoke about some around 32 video, and it was a topic of 32 it was a video of 82 questions. So first part I have discussed 50 questions in separate video. If you want those questions also, you can subscribe the channel and get from that. So guys, till then, bye bye. Thanks for watching for this video.